My name is Mary Gamberg. I am a research scientist based in Whitehorse in the Yukon. I've been measuring contaminants in caribou since the early 1990s. Started when I was living in Ottawa, actually working at the National Wildlife Research Centre, and then I moved up to the Yukon and continued that work and broadened out into looking at caribou across the Canadian Arctic. I work under the Northern Contaminants Program, which is a federal program that funds research into contaminants in the Arctic north of 60. My project, the Caribou Project, looks at contaminants in the porcupine caribou, which is in the Yukon Territory, and the Kamanariak caribou, which is in Nunavut, every year. So we do those two herds so that we can look at temporal trends of contaminants, and we've looked at almost all of the other herds as opportunity arises. If there are other body condition studies going on that we can piggyback on, or if a community has a particular concern about the caribou in their community, we will add that. So typically we do 4 caribou herds every year, our 2 core herds, the porcupine and Kamanariak, and then often 2 others. What we have found is uh, is a fairly good news story. There is mercury in caribou, and the mercury gets into the caribou, like most of the other contaminants, through lichens. Lichens have an anchor, not a root system, and they absorb all of their contaminants from the air. So we get a lot of contaminants that are created in the south, and they blow up here to the Arctic on global winds. And when they get to the Arctic, they settle here because it's so cold. And the lichens absorb those contaminants in the same way that they absorb nutrients. So that's how things like mercury get into the caribou. The caribou eat the lichens that have absorbed the contaminants from down south. So there is mercury in the caribou. There are PFAS, which are the per and polyfluorinated alkyl substances, things that are found in things like Teflon, in firefighting foams, in Gore-Tex. And those things again come up from down south on global air masses. They get deposited onto the land, and the lichens and the caribou get them that way. That's pretty much the only things that are of potential concern. We've measured lots and lots of other things, all of the elements like arsenic, cadmium, lead, all of those things. And we've also measured things like PCBs and PPDEs, the polybrominated diphenyl ethers, and all of those are at super low levels and really not of concern.